Yes, yes, yes. This is a continuation of what's going on in Brooks County, Georgia, and what's going on in the state of Georgia. This is a continuation from the meeting on July the 17th, 2012, the Brooks County Board of Elections office. And what a day. Let's continue.
Stated I've already contacted the Secretary of State's office, and now, Madam Chairman, I think I think that your capacity as the chairman should be to contact the Sheriff's Department and to notify them that there has been some fraud committed and that it needs to be investigated immediately because this election is not going to be certified. That you pen and ink without making the corrective actions and annotating those. And there's no annotations. And again, I don't think, I do think, and it's not my position, but I've already stated, I've already contacted the Secretary of State's office. And now, Madam Chairman, I think that your capacity as the chairman should be to contact the Sheriff's Department and to notify them that there has been some fraud committed.
Now I left the flashing of the Capitol, and I came back into this meeting. This is Nancy Dennett. That's me. That's the shades that he's on the Board of Election. This is Cunningham. This is Miss Proctor. This is the supervisor of the Board of Election. Of course, Ken Collins, back this way. She's the director, the president. But she's the head honcho, this young lady right here. Okay, let's continue.
And it needs to be investigated immediately because this election is not going to be certified as long as you have the shadow over it. And again, I think if Ms. Exum really understood this and knew what was going on, she would be the first one to say that her civil rights have been violated when someone else was added to this certification process. So I would like to know if even the Republican Party did they have a certified person doing the qualifying? Because if they had, because that's the Board of Elections' responsibility to certify anyone from a party so that they can do proper qualifications. And if the party, if that party person was not certified to even qualify, just like then that person, then we have other problems. Now those, that's other issues to look at. But the Republican Party obviously did not know the rules because they would have known that person could not have been added to this list. That person must be qualified. Must be certified to make qualifications to qualify a candidate. So there's some issues and do I think these things can't be corrected? Sure, they can be corrected. I want them to be corrected. We had a meeting Friday talking about that we need them corrected. I met with Deb, and Deb has talked back and forth to Ken. It's not to get Ken terminated. It's not to get the board decertified. But you have to understand if this was you,
Once again, this type of information is all you will find on Boston G.B.R. YouTube channel. I don't put anything about slap a booty or any of these four-letter words. It's dealing with facts, dealing with information, it's dealing with what is right under our form of government. Yet, some call it words that I won't even use on this video, not right now. But it's sad. All we're talking about is voting rights. And they're going to arrest and have 12 outstanding citizens arrested for alleged voter fraud. And yet when these complaints come forth and the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, come down, or send his representative down from Macon, do another meeting, and I got all that on tape as well. It's all been documented. It's crap. I'm sorry. But listen, I'm sorry.
You would not like it. You wouldn't want to tolerate it. And for anyone to get upset, to be questioned about this, and the way your attitude was, well, you got the wrong one, you got the wrong one, you got the wrong one. That is why the citizens of Brooks County has no faith in this board. And with that, I'm going to have to leave because
Can you stay just a second? I'd like to make a comment. I'm one of the commissioners here.
Yes, sir.
These are my employees.
Okay.
And I would like to make a quick comment that I appreciate what you've done. As we mentioned earlier, or as was mentioned earlier, this is all new to us. We're trying our dead level best to make sure things are done correctly. I thank you for bringing this to our attention and bringing it early enough to get it cleared up and to take.
Now he said bringing that to their attention so they can get it cleared up. I have been bringing it up to the people in Valdosta that much of the news here is controlled, suppressed, and abated. I've talked about on the first floor of City Hall, no pictures representing diversity of all people that lives here. I've talked about the jail deaths over and over and over again. We bring these things up to the people we vote into office, yet the same people are re-elected because we are so ignorant and we don't understand what's going on in our community because we don't have a newspaper to report what goes on. This was a public meeting, and if I had not taken my camera, in fact, I got a phone call. If I had not gotten a phone call to record this, all this would have been lost in the cosmos. And then for the Georgia Attorney General to talk about open government, and then when I call him about it and show him his own pamphlet, he does nothing, he say nothing, he don't even see it. All this could have been lost forever. And now that I'm revealing, they refer to it as the crap. The crap.
The pressure off the can and take the pressure off of the board. Because I was here also that particular day when the certification, or not certification, when the time limit ran out. So when I left out, it was under my impression that everything would be from there on done correctly. And so being new, somehow or another, we've got a glitch. And you're absolutely right. I think you make a good, valid point. I appreciate you taking your time to come over here and help us.
Now, even the Board of Commissioners chairman say you got a valid point. But the people in Georgia don't know, in South Georgia or in Brooks County don't know nothing what the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, we don't know nothing what he found. We don't know what solutions he gave. This is the state of Georgia. This is not crap. This is not crap.
That's what I think Madam Chairman said at the beginning of the meeting. We need help, and also we need, in addition to help, we just need, as was mentioned, patience and also cooperation. And that's what we want. We want this environment. As a commissioner, you can see in this little community we're in, we're trying to stretch every dime the taxpayer pays to the maximum. And we have taken out of good faith and added money in. We went to the school system and tried to get a facility that would have made this a lot easier. Would have made it all much more open. They wouldn't be little individual rooms scattered around because we're taking and rehabbing a building that was available, Mr. Cunningham. And we want people to feel this wonderful privilege that our forefathers, everybody who's ever fought a war, to give us this freedom. And we want to have, I appreciate what I heard about having an upbeat attitude.
Considering what he just said, now we must ask based upon the historic fact. And I'm saddened to say this. Do the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, also feel the need to align Brooks County with what the founding fathers of this great republic wanted for all citizens? Just question.
A smile on our face. We're all God's people and together. And that's what I want. I want them when they come in to be able to vote. I like Zurich. I don't like Billy Bob. I'm going to vote for Zurich. I think he's the man I want. I want that ability. And we're trying. Our This whole thing, you heard, you know the situation. Whole new redistricting, whole new group of people that we're trying, and we're trying to do it right. And we appreciate anything that you can help us with. We appreciate what Ms. Deb is doing over in Lowndes County. That's why the commission on the second go around elected to hire Ken from Deb's recommendation to help us get through this process. I have no idea how certification goes. I'm not an expert on it, but I am an expert on listening and watching body language. I was in sales for 30 some odd years. I know when people are amiable, and I know when people are hostile, and that's just a God-given gift to me. And I've heard too much hostility, too much anguish on both sides.
Regardless of the hostility, regardless of the anger, or anything else this particular chairman here says, regardless of all of that, if they were following the law, none of this would have taken place. None of it. None of it. And so we often put Band-Aids on things. But the fact of reality, Brooks County was not created yesterday. And if they have a problem there in 2012, it didn't start then. It's been going on for a long time. And if they don't know what the heck is going on in 2012, they didn't know what was going on in 1912, for the most part. And so, all I can say is that Georgia got major problems. The thing about it, nobody want to change. Nobody want to move out of that groove of the 1800s time frame. And it's sad.
And I want to stop. I want it corrected. And I want to go forward with a smooth election in this community. And we got a precious few days to do that. We've got this lady that's never heard of this thing. This whole thing is coming up day after tomorrow on the 19th. And I don't know if it can be extended or not, but it sounds to me like
We'll be here for a while.
because we've got to set the stage to not only in this election, but like you said, the most important election coming up is this one. The next most important election is if there's a runoff. The next most important election is November. And they've got to be correct. And everybody has got to feel comfortable and non-intimidated in our, and as a...
He used the word intimidated, but a lot of the people, when I walked the street with Pastor Benjamin, a lot of people said they were intimidated by the GBR during investigations of Quitman 10+2. That was never reported in the newspaper. It seemed as if though there was a tree that fell in the forest. And then they tell us the forest don't even exist. That's what happens when they ignore the news, you know. Listen, please.
Commissioner, that's what I'm trying, that's my goal. And that's the goal. But I already heard the process started. They're going to need some more money. They've already spent a new $100,000 and they we haven't even got the early voting done. So I do appreciate you doing those. I appreciate your effort. I wish we had some of your experience on this end, and we appreciate good cooperation from you. So thank you for coming over.
Well, I agree with Joe. I
just wanted to let you know the commission is interested. And we're trying, and we want to have the right frame of mind and everything by the book.
I volunteered for this position because America means something to me. And because the voting process is extremely important to me. I didn't take this position with the idea of making mistakes or causing anybody any harm. Okay, this was a mistake, obviously, that I've only been doing this for a year, and I have to tell you what, I'm still like the deer in the headlights. You know, for all of the rules and all of the regulations that you need to know. I didn't catch that. I thought the thing had been corrected before it went to the courthouse. Okay, I didn't know that. Now, if you want to go ahead and file for a felony, do it.
I appreciate it.
You know,
The chairman,
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that because I know it was an honest mistake. I don't understand. I mean, I think we need to work together on this, and I'm not feeling that. I'm feeling that it's being picked apart rather than saying, what can I do to help you? You know?
So are you authorized me to go to the sheriff department?
If that's what you want to do.
I need to make a motion that I am authorized to go to the sheriff's office.
You are, you guys, you have your motion.
What I have to discuss here is that, like I said, I understand Mr. Collins when he said if somebody has a problem, to send them and have them call you. But you have to also understand that the fact that we are board members, if they feel the problem is with you, they can't come to us.
That's
And
so
then
true.
we can come to you and find out what's going on to correct the problem. One of the problems that was told to me that a customer came in and requested a sample ballot.
Yes, sir.
And was told to show ID.
You want me to explain?
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Let me finish real quick, please. Was asked to show proper ID. And they said what it was saying is there's disparate treatment in the office. And I would have looked into it and said, okay, well maybe that was just something there. But to see it firsthand myself today, that a customer came in and I requested the same information and didn't have to put an ID at all.
The first incident was Mrs. Brown, and it was the sole purpose behind just asking her if she had a driver's license with her is because on that driver's license is everything I need. As far as date of birth, driver's license number, usually, and and the address. And Ms. Denard brought up a very important point, and I'll give her credit for that, is that technically all I needed was her address, and she's exactly correct. And since that time, all I've asked for is an address, because I can go in a back trace from the address itself. As long as they're a registered voter, they're going to show up in my registration listing, and I can go through there and get the same information and not even have to break a tone asking for it. All I got to have is an address. And so that particular incident, I take sole responsibility for that, and it was not intentional to target anybody. It was just I had not thought about, and that's the absolute truth, I had not thought about the fact that all I needed was an address and go in on screen 5 and get the same information. Now, if I need to contact Ms. Brown and give her an apology, I'll be glad to. But Ms. Denard brought up that one important piece of information about that all I needed was an address, and she is exactly correct. And I had failed to consider that whenever I asked Ms. Brown for her identification. It was totally innocent. And if she was offended by it, I would call her and apologize. But we have to have certain information to be sure that we look up the right one, because there may be a Zurich de César of the second or the third, or just like yesterday, we looked up all the way from the second all the way to the fourth of this one particular fellow. His name. He liked his name, so he named his son that, and his son liked the name so well he just named his son that. The only thing then that distinguishes everybody then is birthdays. And it's totally innocent whenever I ask somebody, and Miss Brown, like I said, if she was offended, I'll be glad to call her up and apologize, because it was a totally innocent question on my part.
See, I think a lot of this is they're just mistakes. They're things that we need to correct within the office. We're just humans trying to do the best job that we can do and to make this office work. And now I personally am feeling like I'm being picked apart for every little thing. It's okay if you find a mistake and bring it to us. But I'm just,
That is what I'm doing at this time. for bringing things to your attention. Well, the reason being is we're not perfect. I understand. We're no means perfect. But if we don't correct our problems,
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
We don't have a problem.
You're right.
We, in this position, working in the public, we must be prepared to accept criticism.
Sure.
And if we are right in what we're saying, we must be able to go pull the documents and show them, okay, we have the right to do it. If we was wrong in any way, we need to correct that problem and give some sort of apology as dealing with the public.
I'll be glad to call this.
I don't think an apology is even appropriate. Why hold two standards? If the public does something wrong, you're quick to say, I read your last minutes, fraudulent signatures and fraudulent things. If you do the same thing, and this is very serious right here, two separate things this is serious. That goes back to the Constitution. And pass off and just say, oh, it's just a mistake. And just we're going to overlook it's a mistake. According to the law, that's a felony offense right there. That even exists. And it can't be just said, oh, it was a mistake or it got past me. And you just say the certified third page when it's the same signature. That's serious. And you're going to hold the voters accountable to these things and having them come in for all these different things. By the same standards, you've got to set the standard. You've got to set this bar, and that's unacceptable. And these aren't just one thing happening randomly. It's like a cycle. You've gone through the training. This board's over a year old, and this behavior is not acceptable. We're looking to you for direction to make sure that we have an election that we can find credible, and we find credible the results. This kind of behavior, this behavior, you're working hard to discredit other people when you're not even doing what you're supposed to be doing by law. Well, I read the last minutes. It was about a signature, and you're ready to send it to the Secretary of the State Board of Elections. What? About fraudulent behavior.
Nobody said anything about sending it anywhere.
Well,
No, I'll read it.
no, I've heard reports, I've heard the comments about that, but I'm just saying this same thing is, and just saying that this can't go out, whether the cert takes or not, it's going. It's already gone to the Secretary of State, it's going everywhere else has to go because it has to go. That's the whole purpose. We can't, now that I'm knowledgeable of this, I play a party to whatever's happening, the crime, if I allow this to be not taken to the authorities and the proper people handling it. You play a party to it. This has to go.
By right, as a board, if we don't take action, it's going to fall back on us.
Yes, those two are good.
No, I do agree that we have to take action, but I don't think I have to file a felony charge against the man because he took 30 minutes to figure out that he left somebody's name off the list.
But it's just not him, it's Ken. Ken's the one that signed it and notarized it. So it's your office too that played a part of that. This is the information that went in on the ballot. When that information goes in, it says on it, just duly, this is the truthful, da-da-da-da. That is not true. This could throw the whole election because people might be on that ballot that by law aren't even certified to be on the ballot.
And see, that code is coming out of this. That's why we as a board have to take action because it falls back on the board. And we can't sit there, all the mind is overlooking.
Why don't I just suspend myself then until y'all settle all that?
Wow. Wow. And can you imagine the Secretary of State, who's funded by taxpayers' dollars, to ensure that Georgia election process is within Georgia and federal law, and when the citizens bring this up to those responsible, they don't even get a reply? Now, don't blame me for this. Now, if I could create all this, I'm a genius. All I'm doing is reporting what no paid reporter from the Quitman Free Press, no paid reporter from the Valdosta Daily Times, or TV stations, or editor reported. And yet, they're going to call this crap that I put on YouTube. Are we some communist state wherein the people don't want to be educated, informed, notified? What's happening?
Well, no. This is ridiculous.
Because, you know, if I'm going to be held responsible.
Let me back up a little bit here, and I won't interrupt this time.
Why don't I just suspend myself until y'all settle all that?
Well, no. This is ridiculous.
Because, you know, if I'm going to be held responsible for something that I have a 98% assurity of that Lee Largo did and not me, then, you know, best thing for me to do is suspend myself from this office until y'all settle it or it gets settled, and then I'll come back.
The way I look at it, if you had nothing to do with it, what I will need from you is an affidavit.
Exactly.
But somebody made a change on that, and that's what has to be done with an affidavit from you stating that what mistake that was made, and you did not annotate anything on this. But it was brought to your attention. And who in your affidavit, you have the name who brought it to your attention. And then that's the person who made the change.
Well, that's what we'll have to do. But in the meantime, though, until that gets settled, then I'm feeling like I should suspend myself from any activity with the elections office until that gets settled.
And that's what we have to call and find out the proper procedures on it.
Right.
What?
The proper procedures in his place, since he has nothing to do with this. Add that on there. Mr. Lockey did. Or one of his representatives. We have to find out what King's position is. If it's just doing, my understanding that he was just doing an affidavit. He had no knowledge of the changes, but it was brought to his attention that, did they say he was going to make a change on it?
No.
Really, you know what, if you go any further, you're investigating. If you're not sure you need to do it for still
That's right.
do it.
That's right.
You can't investigate and be a part of it.
You cannot do it.
That's right. I want to see it.
So I'll suspend myself from any activity with the board until you get that straight.
Oh, he's got the right to do it.
What are you doing?
I'll be glad to give you an affidavit or a statement or whatever, but until that gets, you know, settled, I don't want anybody thinking that, you know, we're trying to do anything underhanded or above, you know.
I understand that, King. I understand it. But as a board member, we have to look into it or have someone look into it.
I understand.
So that's where it has to go from there. It needs to be looked into because I don't want that to fall back in my lap.
So, in essence, then, I need to suspend myself from any activity with the election office until that gets settled.
What are you doing?
Excuse me, y'all. I was asked a question, and I'd like to respond to you because I am recording. What I'm doing is that I'm recording.
You know what? You should not be doing that without informing us ahead of time.
Okay, let me look at you. Asked me a question. I want to answer, if you allow me. Will you let me answer?
Go ahead.
If this is indeed a public meeting, I have a right to do this. It has been proven over and over again in the courts. I go all to these cities, Lakeland, all around. This is what I do. So I'm just recording a public meeting. Now, if what is being discussed would have been determined by you, the chairman, or whoever, if it's possible for you all to go in an executive session to discuss your matters, which I think maybe should have been there, then I know the procedures, and I definitely would not try to come in at executive. But if it's a public meeting, I have a right to record and to record.
He's right.
And so that's what you asked. That's why I just answered your question, and that's my point.
All right. Well, we're in the call an executive session at this point. The rest of the meeting is adjourned.
That's not a big deal.
Okay,
So we're in executive session. You have to state the reason for it. There's only three reasons you're going to it. You have to have a motion to go into it. You have to tell us the reason you're going into it. And then when we come back, you have to tell us what was discussed. So.
And there must be a
Just
vote.
executive session. Anything other than that is sunshine.
Okay, so go ahead. What else?